madaxweynaha Somaliland mudane Muuse Biixi Cabdi ayaa ka qayb galay munaasabad cashi sharaf ahayd oo Raysal Wasaarihii Hore dalka Kenya mudane Raila Odinda u sameeyay wafdigu oo hogaaminaya madaxweynaha Somaliland oo maalintii saddexaad ku sugan dalka Kenya iyo jaaliyada reer Somaliland ee dalkaasi ku dhaqan madaxweynaha Somaliland Muuse Biixi Cabdi ayaa u mahad celiyay Mr. Raila Odinda iyo madaxweynaha dalka Kenya Hore sida niyastamida leh ee u muujiyeen xiriirka soo jireenka u dhaxeeya Somaliland iyo Kenya munaasabadani waxa ka hadlay madaxweynaha Somaliland Muuse Biixi Cabdi Raysal Wasaarihii Hore dalka Kenya Raila Odinda iyo mas'uuliyiin kale oo isugu jira Somaliland iyo Kenya hadaladii munaasabadan laga jeediyo oo dhameystiran halkan ka daawo.
Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Somaliland, Muuse Biixi Cabdi, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinda, ministers from Somaliland, Honorable Junaid Mohammed, and other dignitaries that are present. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take this opportunity to thank the government and the people of Kenya for inviting the Somaliland president to this country. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Raila Odinda, Junaid, and his wife for hosting our president and his delegation tonight. Indeed, today will go into the history of books as a special day in the relationship between Kenya and Somaliland. It's the first time a sitting president of Somaliland has made an official visit to Kenya. We as Somalilanders are excited about this trip and look forward to a fruitful stay for the president here. To our President Muuse Biixi, I say, Karibu Kenya. This visit by our president marks another milestone in cementing the cordial relationship between Kenya and Somaliland. Somaliland and Kenya share so much in common. We were both under the British protectorate and fought gallantly to achieve the independence which we cherish. Kenya is home to thousands of Somalilanders who engage in different business and investment ventures, while there are also many Kenyans working in Somaliland as teachers, lecturers, and doctors. There are many areas that we will continue to look into as we open up to Somaliland to Kenyan investors and experts. I thank the government and the people of Kenya once again for being the gracious host. Jambo, and welcome to Kenya, our president and his delegation. Thank you very much.
His Excellency President Muuse Biixi, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, ministers from Somaliland, guests that have been invited, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Excellency the President and the Prime Minister, today is not in my place to speak when my leaders are here. As you know, my party leader and my people's president is present here today. So it is not in my place to speak when he is present, and when we have also a special guest who is the president of Somaliland, who is our guest of honor. But I may say that, Your Excellency, my first trip to Hargeisa when I came, before I came to Hargeisa, I went to see my leader, the Prime Minister. That time he was planning to travel to Dubai for some medical reasons. I told him I want to go to Hargeisa. The Prime Minister took me to the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta. And he discussed with him about my trip to Somaliland. And they told me to go and see the President of the Republic of Somaliland. I remember when I was in Hargeisa, I spoke to the Prime Minister twice. The President was aware of Somaliland, and briefed him of my trip to Hargeisa and told him what we have encountered and told him what we have, the way we have been received by the government of Somaliland And the Prime Minister was very happy about it. And he told me when he comes back from Dubai, we shall discuss. And when we came back, I briefed him. And he's one man who has a lot of history about Somaliland. Many of the things I have learned about Somaliland is through the Prime Minister. His visit to Somaliland when the President Raila was the president of that country, and many other times that he has encountered many people who are from that country. So this meeting has been, or this visit has been successful because of the efforts that have been done by His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta in conjunction with the Prime Minister Raila Odinda. Your Excellency, my wife says she's from Somaliland, but I don't know, because when they came to Migori, it was before the independence of Kenya in 1943. So I don't know whether she's a Somaliland or she's a Luo. Because she also speaks the native language of that place, of the Luos, very much. So I don't know, it's just recently that she changed when we came to Nairobi after leaving Migori, and told me that, you know, I'm from Somaliland. I told her, I didn't know that until now, and now we found ourselves in this situation. So we have accepted that we are from Somaliland. And I would like to conclude by saying that I am very happy and very delighted to have participated in making sure that our two countries have a good relationship. They have partnered in many ways in terms of trade, security, and many things. So we will make sure that that relationship is taken forward. That relationship is cemented. Today you have been hosted by our President Uhuru Kenyatta. He at State House. I was also privileged to have been there. And tonight we have a dinner with the Prime Minister. And this relationship that has been started by the two leaders will be taken forward, God willing, and made stronger in the near future. Having knowing myself as a politician very well, that our country is at the moment united, so you might find yourself as Somaliland being transferred from one hand of the President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, to maybe to the incoming President Raila Odinda. God knows. This might be the transfer that the President is saying, I've started good work here, and my brother Raila continue with this work. This is the way we want to run this country.
The President of the Republic of Somaliland, Honorable Wasaarihii Abdi, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Raila Odinga, Honorable Junet and all other members of Parliament, representatives of governments of Kenya who are here, the diplomatic missions, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, I'm honored to welcome you to Kenya, and on behalf of Vision Quest and behalf of my colleagues in the 6 regions of Somaliland who are Somaliland nationals and the entire East Africa, we are delighted tonight to be part of this history. I say history because we have been part of a challenging experience. We've been part of that challenging experience where we were not even able to bring Somalilanders to Kenya for different nationals, sometimes even government representatives to Kenya. Ethiopia would accept, Rwanda would accept, Kampala, and we will go to many other African countries, but it wasn't possible. Being a Kenyan and being a Kenyan company working in Somaliland and having thousands of our Kenyan professionals that we take there to serve Somaliland, it was quite challenging and really painful to see that Somalilanders were not accepted to be part of or to have any entry to Kenya. We thank you for all the partnerships you have had with your administration through the donors and international organizations that we served the Republic of Somaliland in its 6 regions, and we are happy today that finally Your Excellency, you have made a landing in Kenya, and it will be possible for Somalilanders to follow suit. I know Somaliland, many of you might not have been there, even some of the Somalilanders who are in Kenya. Somaliland has been very accommodative and of course friendly for many internationals, not only for Kenyans. Somaliland currently hosts over 2,000 refugees, thousands of asylum seekers, thousands of economic migrants, and even returnees from other countries. Most of the refugees are from Ethiopia, from Somalia, from Yemen. And they are in Somalia being served by the Somaliland government. So there are thousands also of Kenyans who are either in the hospitality industry, they're in the humanitarian work, but majority, unfortunately, are in the education sector. Primary schools, universities, secondary schools are being served by Kenyans. Heads of institutions are Kenyans. As much as Kenya will not accept Somalilanders to land in Kenya, it was really a very painful experience, but we thank you, Your Excellency, for taking the effort to go ahead. I know it has been years, this struggle. It did not start today, but I would like to thank the person who has made it possible. I think we need to crown. I know the Right Honorable has done his bit, but the crown tonight goes to Honorable Junet. In a very short time, he was able to deliver, because I waited. I'm a Kenyan, I work in Somaliland, and we are spread all over Somaliland, and I know how painful it has been. And I know who have been doing all the efforts over the years. But in a very short time, Honorable Junet has delivered. And I know why. Because we say in Kenya, every power, there is a very strong backbone. And do you know who the backbone is? Our sister, Dalka. We thank you very much. Yes, this is where women deliver. Being a Somalilander herself, she has struggled really enough to bring this on board. Your Excellency, there is still a lot of opportunity and partnership. Education has been proven to be one of the sectors for economic development. I know the partnership will even be more stronger in education. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for landing in Kenya. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Raila Odinda, for making it possible. Our Crown Prince tonight, thank you very much. Your Excellency, I say may Allah bless you for the support you have had with you over the years and for building Somaliland. I was talking to the ambassador the other day. Somalilanders, and especially there's a certain age. For the last 8 years, we have seen patriots, not just Somalilanders. We have seen boys and girls who have gone out of their way to build Somaliland and put all other interests aside. I am safe more in Hargeisa than Nairobi. That is for a fact. Yeah, so it's through the patriotism. The systems are there. I can confirm myself that we do policies. The structures are very well defined. So let us support. And I know, Honorable Junet, please be in the bigger picture of trying to create the Africanism. We don't need to have recognitions on papers. We are Africans. Let us be free to each other. We don't block a certain sector because they don't conform to. We conform to our own African standards. So let us try to expand that and at least know who is to be paid for an effort. Somalilanders are now, the president is awarding Kenyans. I have seen of a Kenyan country director who has been awarded an excellence performance. Why don't we award that performance and try to open, why restrict? So thank you very much. May God bless you, give you good life. Somaliland Kanolaka. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, President Bihi, Your Excellency, Prime Minister Raila Odinda, Your Excellencies, our ambassadors, Minister of Finance, honorable, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening to you.
It is my distinct honor and pleasure to be standing here in front of such a distinguished crowd. My trip to Somaliland was begun due to the friendship between my father and the late Mohammed Ali Noor. Many of you may know him as Blackie. God rest his soul in eternal peace. I'm sure were he here, this would have just been the culmination of his hopes, his dreams, and the hope for cooperation. So kindly join me to give a hand of applause to him and Mr. Paul Gadesha Mohoho for a friendship that began in 1973 or 74, of which I know we moved back from Mombasa to Nairobi, and they met with Mr. Noor, he contributed at that time 100,000 shillings so that they could work on that friendship, strengthen and support the cause for Somaliland. I feel very honored that finally that recognition, driven by so many people, Your Excellency Prime Minister, that vision that you had seen when you came in, and the friendship and the ties that go long before, I think with Lord Delamere, when he moved with Somalilanders, all the way, that is in 1800s. So our relationship, Kenya and Somaliland, is not now. It has been there for a long, long time. And this recognition, this trip, Your Excellency, comes together to cement trade ties, hopefully open up, because you're Kenyan, you're Somalilander, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I have met people who have such a beautiful heart, people who are so interested in working together, the relationships that are created are lifelong. I can say by extension and experience from what I have seen. So my prayer is that this is not the first trip that you'll make. It will not be the last one that you'll make, but many, many more. And I'm sure that with your discussions with His Excellency the President, that it will open up a flood of opportunities and allow that cross-communication, cross-traveling, all our businesses. And I'm sure if we go to the schools, we'll find Kenyan teachers, we'll find the education system is the same. So we are all one people, and we thank God for that. And we ask that those relationships continue to be strengthened, and we look forward to a great, great relationship between Kenya and Somaliland. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
President, Your Excellency, former Prime Minister of Kenya, Odinda, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of my delegation, on behalf of the President and my delegation, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the government and the people of Kenya, and also to the people of Somaliland origin in Kenya. We thank you very much for the warm welcome and for the cordial welcome that we have been accorded. With that, I would like to call Abdurrahman, to call the next speaker.
Your Excellency, President Musa Bihi Abdi, ministers from Somaliland, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We are delighted to receive our guests from the Horn of Africa, from Somaliland. This indeed is a historic occasion when for the first time a leader from that emerging country has been invited to come and visit our country. Welcome once again, Your Excellency, to the cradle of mankind. Now, as it has already been said, that Kenya and Somaliland enjoy long historical relationship. They were both British colonies. Remember, they used to be, Somaliland was divided. There was Italian Somaliland, the French Somaliland, or the land of Afars and Isas, British Somaliland, and of course, part of it was in Ethiopia and so on and so forth. Then independence came and British Somaliland united with Italian Somaliland to form the Federal Republic of Somalia. So, but before that time, you had very many people from Somaliland coming to Kenya, being brought by the British. It started when Lord Delamere came from the Horn on a horseback with people from Somaliland into Kenya. Then after that, because they are both British colonies, and the British had introduced the Somalis to guns and so on, they recruited people from Somaliland to come. They're the ones who formed the first King's African Rifles, KR, together with another team from Sudan, the Nubians. So they came here, and they fought along the British military in the First World War. After that, the various Kambi Somalis were established in our towns. If you go to Kisumu, you have found Kambi Somali. In Kakamega, there's Kambi Somali. In Eldoret, there's Kambi Somali. In Nairobi here, there's Isili. So, Somaliland. And eventually they became Kenyans at independence. So now they are Kenyans of Somaliland origin. So when the independence came, the then Prime Minister of the Federal Republic of Somalia invited my father, the late Jaramogi Odinda, who was then the Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, to tour Somalia. And he went to Mogadishu and was taken around Somalia. I was later on shown pictures which were taken at that time. 1965 is when he did that tour. And then after that, of course, Somaliland had its own challenges, like Kenya has had. Somali as a republic. The experience of Somaliland and their brothers down the south is very similar to the British or the British English Cameroon and the French and French Cameroon. Exactly a similar situation existed in Somaliland. And then there was conflict. There's conflicts all over around that time. With the fall of Berlin Wall, the great Soviet Union collapsed and many countries emerged out of it. Yugoslavia also collapsed. And out of the former Federal Republic of Yugoslavia many countries emerged. Now you talk of Bosnia-Herzegovina, you talk of Slovenia, you talk of Croatia, you talk of Kosovo, and so on and so forth. Even Czechoslovakia split into the Czech Republic and Slovakia. So what has happened in Somalia, or what has happened in Somalia, is not different. I met the then Prime Minister, who was then the founding president of Somaliland. It's a Mohammed Igal. When he came here, and he invited me to visit Somaliland. And against all the odds, I traveled to Hargeisa, via Addis Ababa, Diredawa, right into Hargeisa. And I spent 1 week there. I also went to the port of Berbera, down there. And I saw the challenges that we are going through. I also saw the kind of devastation that the country has gone through. A situation where you had a civil war and the military jets take off the MiGs from the airport and come back to bomb the civilian population in the same city with heavy bombs. And you could still see the skeletons of the people who had been killed by those bombs which had been dropped there. So they have a very sad history. But be that as it may, Somaliland has emerged. It has not been recognized. But as we all know, for a long time the People's Republic of China was not recognized in the United Nations. It was Taiwan which was recognized. But eventually the world had no option but to recognize the People's Republic of China. I have had occasion to talk at international fora. I've talked at the UN, and I talked at the Chatham House in London. And I said, and I have no regrets, and I will say it again, I said that Somaliland is a reality that the world has to live with. That the world has to come to the reality and agree that Somaliland will continue to survive and exist as a country, and that the sooner the United Nations recognize this, the better for everybody. I know that this is not very complimentary, and I will be accused of interfering in the internal affairs of a several country. But this is an issue which African Union needs to address. African Union needs to open a conversation about the issue of Somaliland, just like they've done with the issues of Sahrawi. So this is what should happen here, that the AU need to wake up to the reality that it's not going to be possible again to bring these two countries together and recognize them as two separate countries. I'm not speaking on behalf of the Republic of Kenya. Here I'm talking as Raila Amolo Odinga. And of course the President will discuss with you people, and but we are happy that you guys have come here and that trade should thrive between these countries. When I was in Hargeisa, with all the challenges, but what I know was that money was moving. And this is something where the Somalis are very good at. And Somaliland has got a huge diaspora. Then in Canada, United States, New Zealand, Australia, all over the place, and the money keeps on moving. When I was there, I just told somebody to take money to Hawala here in Nairobi. And within half an hour, I received the money in Hargeisa. That's how the they move. Money moves from New Zealand to Hargeisa within a very short period of time, as you know, because Somalis are very, very shrewd businessmen and women. So I want to tell our visitors that they're welcome to Kenya. As you can see here in Kenya, we are working together. We have what is called handshake. It's bringing two warring factions together and work together for the benefit of the country, to bring the country together so that the country can realize its God-given rights and potential. This is what we're trying to do here. So, Your Excellency, welcome to Kenya. And with those many remarks now, it is my pleasure to invite His Excellency to maybe come and greet the audience and say Jambo. Your Excellency, you're welcome.
waxaan aad iyo aad ugu mahadnaqayaa madaxweynaha jamhuuriyadda Kenya His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta martiqaadkii uu fidiyey aniga iyo wafdiga la socda oo ka turjumaya taariikhda qotada dheer ee ka dhaxaysa Somaliland iyo Kenya iyo nidaam wanaagga iyo mustaqbalka wanaagga ay doonayaan labada dal inay ka wada tashadaan iyadoo uu ka turjumayo martiqaadkaasi aad iyo aad baan ugu mahadnaqayaa shacabka Kenya madaxda dawladda madaxweynaha iyo waaya aragga siyaasiga ah Prime Minister Kenya imikana ah oo qaybsanaha midowga Afrika arrimaha isgaarsiinta ama infrastructure-ka oo runtii abaal weyn kula Somaliland fagaaro walbana si bareera uga taageera qadiyadda Somaliland dhammaantood oo mahadnaq waxaan u mahadnaqayaa caawa His Excellency Raila Odinda Prime Minister oo nagu marti qaaday cashadan inuu sameeyo dadkan isugu yeeray oo xafladda halkan nagu casuumayna waa taariikh gaar ah oo aad iyo aad uga mahadnaqayno inta ka soo qayb gashayna waa u mahadnaqayeen dhammaantood waxaan ku darayaa mahadnaqa wafdigii ugu yimid Somaliland oo hogaaminayay xildhibaan Maxamed iyo wafdigii la socda uu ka mid ahaa Mr. Paul xaaska Maxamed iyo inta kale la socotayba sidii cadayd ee ay noogu warameen heerka ay ka taagantahay Kenya in mustaqbalka Somaliland iyo Kenya ay wax wada qabsadaan oo xagga wanaagga iyo nabadda iyo horumarka u dhaqaaqaan iyaga oo leh taariikh iyo system isku mid ah oo hore uu jiray inuu ka dhaxeeyay curriculumka tacliinta sharciga language wax ku baranayaan iyo dhaqan ahaanba ay ka mideysnaayeen in maantana mustaqbalka dib loo wada qaado si wacan ugu sharxayna aad iyo aad baan u mahadnaqayaa gaar ahaan xildhibaan Maxamed hawsha uu ka geystay iyo soo dhaweynta labada dal waa ka mahadnaqaynaa aad iyo wana baalan taariikhda sidoo uu sheegay Raila Odinda waxa ku daray maayo isaga sheegay taariikhda soo jirtay iyo say labada dal soo ahaayeen wuxuuna wax yar ka taaban wafdiga iyagu Kenya hadii uu yimid fariinta uu siday maxay ahayd muxuu si caalamka iyo madaxweyne Kenya la shiray iyo shirka ay tagayaanba maxay ummadda hor dhigaan Somaliland marka ay u tagaan taas oo ban eersu taagaya waa marka koobaad waxaanu caalamka u istaagno ka socono dal 30 sano jiray oo madax bannaan oo iyagu dalkooda maamusha oo nabad ku noolaa 30 sanadood oo jaarkana nabadgeliya adduunkana nabadda qayb badan ugu deeqa adduunka oo dhan oo gudahooda wixii shaqaaqaana iyagu xalista oo aan adduunku xiriir lahayn hay'adaha caalamka ee lacagaha ee adduunka ayaa sida World Bank iyo hay'adaha kale aanu midna wax deyna ku lahayn midna caawin 30 sanadood dawladaha caalamka oo dhan ee jibcida qurumaha ka dhaxaysaana midna aan deyn u sheeganayn oo haddana 30 sanadood horumar weyn sameeyay dhinac walba xagga horumarka dhaqaale tacliinta caafimaadka isgaarsiinta iyo horumarka bulshada ayaanu ka nimidno adduunka u sheegaynaa oo in badan ogeyn laakiin reer Kenya aad ay og yihiin caalamka waxaan u sheegaynaa caawana aan idin cadaynayaa inaanay Somaliland ahayn dad ka goostay oo qaran ka goostay oo jabinaya sharciga u dhigan midowga Afrika Somaliland waxay ka noqotay midowgii fashilmay dowladii burburtay 1990kii ay hore ugu midoobeen laba dowladood oo xora oo midna ay ahayd tii Talyaaniga gumaysanayay midna ahayd tii Ingiriis gumaysanayay oo si xora u midoobay midowguna oo ka fashilmay markay sidoo soo mid ahaayeen Somaliland markaa wada gaar ay qaadatay waxa ay dhisatay dowlad waxa dowladdaasi ay ka abuurtay dadka oo soo dhisay waxay ahayd waxaan dhisay dowlad dimuqraadiya saddex madaxweyne ayaa doorasho isku bedelay oo si nabada awood isku wareejiyay maanta Somaliland waxa ka socota doorashadii golaha baarlamaanka iyo dowladaha hoose oo dadka diiwaangelinta codbixiyaasha hadda ay ka socoto Somaliland oo dhan oo aanay cidina ka caawinayn insha Allah doorashadana qaban doonta bisha May sanadka soo socda waxa weeye bini'aadmu hadduu goosto inuu sharaftiisa ilaaliyo oo halku dhaga ama mootaa Somaliland waxaan ahay faqiir laakiin waxaan haysan qabkiisa ilaashanay taasaan dalka ku dhisanay ilaahay mahadi waxaan leenahay dad baayac mushtara oo xooga oo kartida iyo hal abuurida leh oo sameeyay shirkado maanta kuwa ugu horeeya xagga isgaarsiinta xagga finance lacagta xawlaadooda oo soo jiitay hay'ado caalami ah oo abaya mushtar oo ku dhiirsaday markay arkeen Somaliland iyadoo cidna ictiraafsanayn inay maal galiyaan lacagtooda ka badan malaayiinta oo ay ka mid tahay DB World waa shirkad caalami ah ku dhiiratay inay dhisada ka Berbera oo ka dhigto kuwa ugu waaweyn mid kamid ah caalamka taasoo ay ku dhiiradeen markay arkeen Somaliland isu dhisayso dawlado kale oo badan imka ay ku jiraan inay heshiisnimo galaan markii Somaliland wada qaaday kuwii aanu midownay 60kii ee 90kii ka baxnay markii ay dintay aan iska yaro tashanayna soddonka sano iyagu maxay qabteen oo run ah waxay qabteen soddonkii sano waa isdilayaan soddonkii kale waxa dalkooda ka abuurmay waxa burcadnimo oo caalamkooda soo gursaday xamar caawa cid xunta la garan maayo ma bulshada caalamka xukunta ma kuwa dhex jooga xukuma lama yaqaan haddana waxa la yaab leh caalamku abaalgud buu siyaa aqoonsi naga dhaxeeyay ilaa Soomaaliya Republic hore la wada haaba la aqoonsaday caalamka labada dowladood kii naga dhaxeeyay waxay ku abaalmariyeen kuwa ku fashilmay dalkooda maamulaan waxaana laga hela qarsaday in la ictiraafkii qaybtoodii la siiyo kuwa dalkooda dhistay waana waxyaalaha la isweydiinayo tolo madaxda caalamka ee ugu horeeyaan kuwa Afrika ee IGAD iyo AU tolo indhoodu sidaba wax qiyaasay waa taa imka aanu weydiinayno ninka soo Afrika oo aanu tahay waa taa weydiinayno taasaan weydiinaya madaxweynaha Kenya taasaan weydiinaya Raila Odinda taasaan weydiinaya Djibouti taasaan weydiinaya maninkii saaqiday ee baabiyay ee caalamkana dhibaato ku abuuray waa laaba la marinaya waa qoonsanaya masakii wax dhisay waa su'aashan doonayno caalamku weydiino Somaliland iskuna weydiiyaan cid kasta ay la joogaan وهذا الكيدي مالته مدحوينها كينيا وآد ياد وفرحسنا هاي إنه ها مدحون أنا سشيغني حالات واقعية واقعي لبضا إذا ضل دنتودا دنتا جيسك أفريقيا يجري باتوين كتيرا شقاقوين كتسلو حليل أيو إيام مستقبلك إن أنا نقارنه ماذا أفريقيانا أو دلكودا مستقبلك وقفكتا سيدي أي أقار لهاي العالم كأي باتوين قبحي وحنسوتها بني إنه جيس إلى إيست أفريقيا ببري شنطة قيبوضة أفريقيا إنه يجوا وقش قاقة بلانتاي أو يقول على بلانتاي أو سادر تيد اللي يريدوا وقش قلام بلانتاي أو يدبعتوين كأدو بديه وحنسيبنا كينيا إنه نقول يسو يجوا إنه جيس أفريقيا ما أنت نقول يسو تقول نصيب بدن هرمر سنة حرطة هاي نقالة أهان أقوان أهان سياسة أهان dalka qura intii uu xorta ahaa aanu ka dhicin inqilaab military mid baa mar la isku dayay wuu fashilmay taasi ayaa hore marisay oo dalalka jaarkooda ah sida Soomaaliya duntay iyo kuwa kaleba iyadii Djibouti u ka nabad galay taa labaduna waxay sameeyeen dhaqaale iyo deganaansho hore maray haddii ilaahay yiraahdo Somaliland waxaan doonaynaa mustaqbalka dambe inay weligeed nabad ahaato qalada siyaasadeed aanu ka dhicin dhibaatadii aanu xalliyo si aanu u gudno waqtiga naga lumay oo mustaqbal degdeg ah u sameeyno inaanu taa waay araga ay leedahay Kenya iska kaashano oo horumar wada sameeyno dhinaca dhaqaalaha diblomaasiyadda amniga iyo wada qabsiga guud ahaan rajana waxaan ku qabaa dhawaan muddo gaaban dhexeed in la arki doono midhaashiga ka soo baxay ilaahay ugu dambeyn waxaan jecelahay in mar labaad ku casuumo His Excellency Raila Odinda Prime Minister-ka imikana odayga u qaabilsan Afrika arrimaha isgaarsiinta iyo infrastructure haddii uu dhowr 95 oo arkay Somaliland say ahayd iyadoo guryahooda qaawan yihiin iyadoo meelo dariiq walba ku qaxayso iyadoo magaaladu biyo lahayn iyadoo oo dadka la fiiqaar aan la aasin hadduu taa ka soo argagaxay waxaan jecelahay inaan maantana mar labaad ku marti qaado uu eega kartida dadka Somaliland si uu dhisay magaalada labadii magaalada ka kuwa kalaba iyo talaabada ay sameeyeen kaligood waliba qoladiina ka soo jeeda Somaliland originally ina aragtaan sawirada suuqa sana talaabada ay qaadeen dadka Somaliland markaasaa garantar hal abuurkooda iyo kartidooda iyo marxaladaha ay ka gudbayaan iyaga oo kaligood isku tashaday taas oo noqon doonto wax mucjiso ah qofkii arkaba marka Odinga mar labaad waxaan ku casuumayaa inuu arko bal maanta magaalooyinka Hargeysa ee Berbera horumarka ay sameeyeen dhinac walba aad iyo aad baan idinku mahadnaqayaa qararahaas dalka Kenya iyo madaxdiisaba iyo intii caawa ka soo qayb gashay
warsame Saciid Cali wararka warbaahinta SBC magaalada Hargeysa